How to relax every chronically tight muscle in your body? Great question. I'm a massage therapist, so I have my hands on a lot of bodies. There's a lot of people with a lot of chronically tight muscles, a lot of chronically sore muscles. And this question has been just rattling around in my head now for years, is how is it that we have all this chronic tension and all this chronic pain? How is that possible? Last few weeks I've actually believed that I've discovered this and applied it and just been amazed at the results. So to understand how we end up with chronically tight muscles, I think you just sort of have to step back and look at the whole human race and how we evolved, because that's a big part of it. Chronic tension, chronic pain is in a large degree is originating out of the nervous system. Pretty sure, absolutely sure actually, that it comes from the fight or flight. And 100,000 years ago, lions and tigers and bears were the big threat. We run across a lion and tiger and a bear, we go into fight or flight. That's how we survived. That impulse, that reflex is basically, I think what that is a reflex, is in our nervous system. And of course today we don't have very many lions and tigers and bears. We don't face those kinds of threats. But when we bump into something in our life and we have some kind of similar, like, ooh, our nervous system activates in a very similar way that it did 100,000 years ago when you bumped into the saber-toothed tiger or whatever. And so what happens is the muscles contract, and then they don't let go, or they don't let go completely. And so that starts to initiate a habitual pattern of holding, right? And then that pattern can build on itself because you bump into another stressful situation, then you have another layer. You bump into another stressful situation, you have another layer. And that's also, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but that's how you can remove a layer or two, feel much better, but then still have chronic tension and pain underneath that. So, but then again, what do we do here? So if you're on board with me, at least, hopefully, that we have a nervous system reaction that creates this holding, and that holding, defining chronic tension, chronic pain as something that's occurring pretty much all the time. So in other words, that's how you get out of bed in the morning and still feel tight, sore, is because underneath the conscious mind, things are gripping a hold. And of course, it wouldn't be a problem if we could just go, oh, I'm going to relax and relax. And a lot of people make a lot of money trying to teach people how to do that. And I'm sure that's possible. I know for sure that is a way to do it. I think that's probably not the easiest way to do it. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. But it does give us a clue as to how do you get rid of this chronic tension and pain. And so the way to get rid of chronic tension is pain. And pain is to take that reaction from the conscious mind and bring it up into consciousness. So in other words, it's just that simple. We just need to be able to use our conscious mind to decide, I'm just not going to have chronically tight muscles, chronically sore muscles. And we send that information to the muscle and it relaxes. That's all that's needed. The question, of course, then is how do you do that? And I think there are a number of ways to do that, actually. And some are going to work better than others for each individual person. Some will be suited for some will be suited for another. I have been exploring a number of different ways to stretch now for close to a decade. And stretching is a great way to loosen up, but stretching doesn't do this. Stretching in general, in my experience and from what I hear from my clients, doesn't make their conscious mind connect to their muscles. At least not on a permanent basis. Maybe for a little bit it does. But that's not the answer. But there are some variations of stretching. And that's where somatic meridian stretching comes into play, because it's a very specific way to move the body, to challenge your body, that brings consciousness back into the muscle. And of course it's not, you do it one time and you're fixed. This is a pattern that's been habituated, that for many people has been there for years. So it does take a little bit of effort. It does take a little bit of time. It's not a great amount of time, and it's not a great amount of effort, but it does require consistency, because it is consistency that created the problem. And so you need some consistency to unplug the problem. The other thing that I would say is, I see a lot of people and a lot of clients who the first thing out of their mouth is, oh, I have arthritis here, or I have this disc thing there, or I have all of these things. And I'm like, whoa, there's a lot of stuff going on. And they believe that that's their problem. That's not their problem. That is a problem. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's not a problem. What I'm saying is those guys are confused about cause and effect. They believe that the arthritis is the cause of their problem. The arthritis is not the cause of their problem. The arthritis is the symptom of the problem. The arthritis is the effect of the problem. So once you go down to the actual cause of the problem, those symptoms will become less and less and less. And many times those symptoms can completely disappear because they're not getting fed anymore, so to speak. So what I'm talking about here is changing things at a very deep core level, and actually doing that without, as I said, a tremendous amount of work or a tremendous amount of effort. It does take effort, does take consistent effort. I'm not going to repeat myself. Anyway, that's what I've come to find. And, at the risk of not being much of a massage therapist after this, I give you this information. And the reason that I say that is because once people don't have chronically tight muscles, chronically sore muscles, a lot of the reason for massage just disappears. Actually, I guess you could go back to massage just for the bliss of it, which is so nice, because then you just go in to get a massage just to totally chill, instead of going to massage because you hurt so bad that you have to get help. And in which case, massage can help. It does do that. It just is not a long-term fix in my experience. People don't go get a massage and then never need one again. I mean, chronically tight muscles, chronically sore muscles are massage therapists. It's heaven. It's what pays the bills. Without that, people aren't getting massage near as often. I guess. But anyway, that's it. That's the origin of chronically tight muscles and chronically sore muscles. And hopefully you found this interesting. And have a good day. Thanks for listening. Feel free, by the way, to leave your comments at the bottom too. Okay, thanks.